Here we go.
Or we can ask Richie what his plan is, because I want to hear that.
Shoot. Yeah. All right. I'll shut my mouth now. Donaldson
Plan
out.
for my new case that I have for violating no contact order.
Yeah, yeah, whichever one.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I just was arrested again. I was pissing on the side of the road in the country. You usually think that quick piss here. We were driving and we pulled over in the country just to piss in the nighttime. And usually you're able to let one go quick and then get back on the road. Well, it so happens that, you see headlights and you usually hop back in the car, right? Well, I saw headlights behind me, and of course it's a cop, so I jump back in the vehicle. We pull into the next person's driveway to turn around, and the cop drives by super slow. And, I'm sure ran the license plate number and found out that the person who owns the vehicle has a no contact order. And so they wanted to see what was going on. And the plates were registered to a woman who were not anywhere, who registered to not, the address wasn't anywhere around. It's Apple Valley, which is a different county. And so they were suspicious because they were looking for a male who was suicidal in the area, who was just lighting shit on fire, and they had like helicopters around the area and shit like that. So I was arrested for violating an order that a judge put out for a no contact. So,
And what happened with the warrant from August?
Hold on, I don't think that made sense. Who did you contact that you had the order against?
I had
talk about
contact
that?
with the mom. She's my son's mom. We had a domestic case with each other.
Oh, so the story you just talked about had nothing to do with the restraining order?
No, it did. I had a restraining order, so that's why they arrested me. There's the judge put in for an order for a no contact. It's like a restraining order, but it's like an order for protection is what it's called.
In other words, the judge did that to cover his own butt.
I don't know, it's to protect her, I guess. I guess because they think that I'm going to harm her in some way.
I must have missed it, but I don't think I heard in that story where you actually contacted her. Did you?
Well, I guess we were in the same vehicle as one another, so we...
Oh, that's the part I missed.
Contact.
Yeah, that's the part I missed. I didn't know she was there.
Yeah, she was driving.
So wait a minute. She had a restraining order against you, but you were a guest in her car?
Yeah.
That means she violated the no contact order.
Well, apparently the way the order is set forth in the wording, it says that she can have contact with me and nothing will happen to her. But if I have contact with her...
I would challenge that immediately.
Yeah, because she, first and foremost, she doesn't even want the contact on there, the no contact on there. We have a kid together and...
But listen to this. Say me and my wife get in an argument and she runs down and gets a restraining order against me. That means if I go to the mall and she shows up at the mall, I have to leave. But if she's following me around, I don't know what the word is, it's basically a form of entrapment where she's hunting me down so she can make me get arrested. She's violating the order and she's being an instigator. She's the one that's meddling.
I think that's what the cop was saying, actually. The cop was like, I don't believe you. I don't believe that you didn't think... Because she's like, well, I didn't think I could get in trouble because the judge told me when he was in court that I can't violate it, only he can. And the cop's like, I don't believe you for a second. And I didn't know that because I was already in the back of the squad car. I already pretty much...
But see, technically, say me and you never met each other, and then all of a sudden we ran into each other at a bar, and we got in a fight, and there was a restraining order. You put a restraining order against me. If you show up at my door, I'm going to go to jail because you're at my house? No. So that order, bang, there's a voidable order right there.
Exactly. That doesn't even make any sense.
Well, it makes sense if you know the full story.
Well, the fact that he was he arrested?
Several times.
Yeah, I was arrested. I had to bail out.
Is this the one from October?
Yeah. Yep. October 30th to 29th.
Yeah, but at that point you had a warrant out for you.
Yeah, I got it taken care of.
What do you mean taken care of?
I had to go appear in front of another court, and they just reinstated my probation in the county.
Okay. And what did they give you in terms of estimates for the DUI case?
For time that I would have to serve for,
Yeah.
they offered me like 70 months for the first deal.
And what
And then I, came with a counter offer of probation, and I do treatment, and I'd have one-on-one therapy. I was asking for a downward departure from the guidelines, because Minnesota has a guidelines where they sentence you off of depending on how many felony points you have.
Yeah, can we talk about the felony points?
Yep. What do you want to know?
How do you get started on this? It looks like you started with driving without a license.
Yes.
And then
A lot of them.
bunch of DUIs.
Yeah, the last two I had were just considered refusals. I took a deal on the last one, which was another refusal because I told them that I wasn't going to blow for them unless they ordered me to do it, because I told them I don't work for free. I'm used to taking orders. I'm ex-military, so everything I did, I get put on orders. The government, whoever was, I was.
Wait, when were you in the military?
I did military stuff from 2008 to 2014. And so whenever they'd send you to do something, like I'd work training people, combatives, in hand-to-hand combat. So they'd send me an order, and saying this is what you have to go do, and this is what we want you to do, and then they'd pay me after my orders were complete from certain date to another certain date, and then they have how much I get paid for it and stuff like that.
So that's why you didn't do the blow.
Well, that's kind of my belief was I wasn't swerving, I wasn't speeding, I was not breaking any traffic law, but he said my headlights were off, and he said he had reason to believe that I was drinking or under the influence, because he could smell it, the odor. That's what it was. They said the odor was very. It wasn't strong. They didn't say strong or anything like that, but they said the presence was on my person. That was their probable cause in both cases of the DWIs, the most recent ones, which were refusals. I, was still arrested for them and stuff. Spent a lot of time in jail. I think I spent like 7 months in jail for both.
I don't understand why you refused if you already got busted on refusal in 2008.
I don't know. It was just a pride thing, I guess.
No.
That's what it was. It was a mistake,
Right, so, and what's the deal with the drive-by?
Oh, somebody was shooting I talked to Karl about that, actually. It's recorded on YouTube. You can look up restoration of property, and I'm the guy at I can't remember, a 14-minute mark. And we talked for about 15, 20 minutes of how your vehicle it's like an extension of your home. And so he was trying to figure out, so somebody shooting a BB gun out of his window and hitting the other house with his BB gun from his house, and he was, so that was the whole case in that. We were just being stupid kids.
Was it a BB gun?
Yeah, it was a BB gun.
Oh, it doesn't. Wait, a BB gun counts as a drive-by?
Apparently, that's what they're saying. It's classified as a firearm. I did not know that. They took about 14 grand from me. Took my vehicle away, seized it when I was doing military stuff. I was like away from home. They served my grandmother with forfeiture papers, and since I didn't respond to in time, they forfeited my vehicle. And so we got the whole thing recorded on. If you wanted to go into it more on Talk Shoe with Karl, I'll post a link in the chat actually as well.
Sounds like a bunch of thieves.
No, it was pretty fucked up actually the way that it happened. We picked up some random guy from Quick Trip, and I was on my way to a security, like a military ball in the cities, and I was with my buddies, and we just picked up this random guy, and there's a BB gun in my car, and he started to use it on another vehicle. So it was just straight out of a movie, just stupid shit. Like that was nothing in how I am now, or how I've definitely learned from being dumb like that. Now I'm just dealing with these other issues where I need just to consent, I guess, or just get a license. That's what I'm just gonna say screw it. Like I'm not doing the no license bullshit anymore. I'm just gonna flash in the license. I'm not doing anything wrong. Just let me be on my way. I'm not dealing with this crap anymore.
Well, there's a specific case that I was called Bond versus United States, and that I was referred to actually print and have a copy of on me if I was going to be traveling around. And I'm going to pull up the case real quick on my phone so I can refer to it. But, literally, I don't know why the supremacy clause of the Constitution wouldn't come in and trump any state law that does not define, commercial use as motor vehicle. You see what I'm saying? Because what they try to do is states will try to create laws that are like define motor vehicle, right? But they'll say, hey, look, yeah, it does not have to be commercial use. It's anything. You know what I'm saying? Basically, in that state. But I think that does not comport with federal law. So therefore, you could challenge the authority of the state law with a federal question in your paperwork. Now, that's not saying you won't get convicted, though. That's just saying that you could come back in and appeal the case if you put your federal question in. That's all I wanted to say.
Excuse me, guys. Sorry.
But so you basically took the deal, right? A deal, and you agreed, and was this all done? I'm just curious. This is Donaldson. Did you do ADR, alternative dispute resolution, Brian? Okay.
Which is funny, by holding the judgment and on those whole faith, my credit. It's like guarantee I did, and I guarantee that very much. Probably. What if he said out? No, he said out, but knowledge that it is going to bring before the court.
quiet again.
Did you guys hear me? Yeah, I got the other link too. There's another part to that, Law Fan. And this doesn't just so you guys know, everything that I'm posting in here, none of it is legal advice. Absolutely none of it. You know what? It's all entertainment purpose only, strictly. So if you use it, you're using it at your own risk. Just know that.
Yeah, I can't find the Karl video, but somewhere on there. I'll keep looking for it. Post if I find it.
When was that, and what did he tell you?
Basically that there is not much they can do, except for if I didn't pay any restitution to the property or the damage that was caused to the property.
Yeah, that was only about the drive-by. You didn't talk about the other stuff.
No, because none of this other stuff was. That was a while ago, back in 2010, 12.
Wait, so you've been talking to him since 2010?
No, I brought it up to him about. I don't know. How long have been coming on these calls? Like it's been about. I don't know. It's freaking 2 years almost going on.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't even know how long I've been on these calls.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know either. I remember before I even came on the calls, I was just straight listening to Karl all day, all night at work. I'd just do the download the videos, like the hour-long videos, and just keep listening to them. You know, when I was painting, I just have it in my earpiece and listen to all of them. So I did that a while before I even hopped on the calls, and then, you know, I got on them as much as I could for a while there. But yeah, I didn't bring it up to him until like it was a year and a half ago, I believe. Craig Lentz had it posted somewhere on here, but I'm looking for it right now. He's got so many freaking videos.
Yeah, way back in the day, what I used to do was I would put the Craig Lynch clips 1 to 56 combined, and then I would listen to the was it 57 to 100, and then I would listen to the next one. I would just all day long, every day, Karl would be playing nonstop. I'd go leave the room, do something, come back, I could hear it again, but I just had it on like 24/7. Playing in the background all the time.
I know, it's funny, my girlfriend was like getting used to Karl's voice too, hearing it all the time, and she knew, like, you know, the talk shoe when you call in and all that little thing. It was just funny. Because you know, I've been helping her with her cases that she gets, like marijuana tickets and speeding tickets, and I was testing it on that stuff first, you know, writing letters, and you were helping me through it, you know. But it's been a good experience. Not too bad. 26 now. I turned 27 in December. Years old.
You guys all cut out there for a sec. You know that, right? Or were you guys all just being quiet?
We didn't cut out. You did.
Really?
Your phone's being hijacked again.
You're funny. You're so hilarious. oh.
So when is your sentencing date?
December 29th. I've been working on allocution.
So going forward, are you gonna keep, I guess, doing this stuff?
Well, no, I'm going to do the common law stuff, but I want to stay as far as I can from the courthouses unless I'm helping somebody else out.
What do you mean? Explain
So
that.
can I get this straight real quick? This is a DUI case we're talking, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure that I understand that you are being charged with a DUI case and you have sentencing coming up. Is that what I'm hearing?
Not a DUI case, it's a refusal. It's a whole separate crime, I guess.
You refused. Okay, a breathalyzer, right?
Yeah, they got some laws that they came up with about 30 years ago.
Ooh.
And
they apply to everyone, even aliens.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, and so they took your liberty based on their statute. They didn't realize what they were doing. You have to forgive them. But there is a remedy for you, dude. Seriously, it's there. You can challenge subject matter jurisdiction, first of all, in a lot of different ways. Considering the fact that there was no, if you guys don't mind me interjecting my little opinion or insight, none of this is really legal advice. It's really only entertainment, so it should only be thought of that.
If you want to give them advice, just give them advice. You don't need a disclaimer every 5 minutes.
Yeah, I will disclaim it. I'm going to disclaim it. It's all entertainment.
Dude, do us a favor. If you're going to give us a disclaimer every 5 minutes, just mute out.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
We don't need to hear a disclaimer every 5 minutes. That's retarded. Just if you got something to say it.
Well, I said it once or two times on the call. That's good enough.
Plus, he's already been to trial. This is sentencing. I don't think you can challenge jurisdiction in sentencing.
Oh, you can.
Well, yeah, they've said they've already had a verdict. It took them about 5 minutes to deliberate.
Well, did you have insurance on your car?
Yeah. It was a friend's property.
And are you the? It was your friend's property. And so was your friend the head of the household? If you're trying to keep it common law, I'm just saying, was your friend the head of the household of the car? You know what I mean? Like, he's the owner. Was he the head of his household?
No, but she's on the insurance. She has the title in her name, legal title.
Okay, so who's the head of her household?
Her father is deceased, so I'm not really sure how that would go.
I think it's since you're with her
You're gonna make a statement
common law,
keep asking questions, Donaldson.
I think under common law, you would be the head of the household in that situation. Okay, and so therefore, since you had insurance and you were the head of the household, that under the family purpose doctrine, which is a common law doctrine, that you took the liability for any injury, harm, or damage to property caused. Okay, and since there was none, your refusal to take a breathalyzer was basically not prohibited under common law. That's it.
Is there a case law to support that, or how are you?
Yeah, there is. There's plenty. You need to put some in the chat room for you? I'll do that. Let me grab the family purpose doctrine.
I tried to find some case law on most of it, some of the cases that were brought to the Supreme Court.
I mean, that's one remedy for sure, you know, especially because of the nature of the claim. Being civil in its nature. But that's it for me for now. I'm going to try to find the family purpose doctrine and put it in the chat room.
That has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Okay. Can you prove what you're saying? Your statement, it sounds like more like an opinion. It doesn't really sound like fact. You didn't really disprove it. I mean, I made a pretty good case. I can put the case law, and I can put the case law in there too right now, you know. But the point is, yeah. I mean, you're really not backing yourself up. But anyways, I want to try to help the guy, so I'm going to try and put this case law in there. Sorry. Here we go.
Okay, I'll explain myself. All the family purpose doctrine says is that the head of the household is responsible for damages. If somebody in the family is driving, he is not the head of the household. There was no damages. It has absolutely nothing to do with whether or not you have to blow breathalyzer.
So why do they get to punish him then?
Because he refused a breathalyzer test.
They're
well
assuming,
then,
right in the paperwork, they're assuming that I am a driver. I already told them that I was a man. Just.
I think you made the right plan, bro.
license.
You did the right thing. And honestly, they have no reason to punish him.
Well, the state feels otherwise.
Well, who's the state?
The people of the state of Minnesota.
Will they are they going to be able to step forward in the case and come? Who's going to step forward and say that I am the state?
They
and I was injured.
In my
It's not going to be there.
In my
man.
In my opinion,
Crazy.
what he's done already is salvageable. If he goes and he changes his attack 100% and starts getting all aggressive with them, I think it's going to work against him. I think he has a better chance of apologizing, working out a deal, and letting it go away.
Asking for forgiveness. Exactly. That's exactly what I suggested earlier.
Because in case you didn't hear, they're asking for 3 years. And it was a simple mistake in judgment. He should have blown. He decided not to. I think it's a salvageable mistake.
Well,
okay. How would you remedy that?
I would tell them that I complied with all the officer's orders. He refused to give me the order to blow. I complied with everything else. I've been polite, respectful. I'm in the military. I'm used to everything I do is based upon an order. He wouldn't give me the order, so I didn't do it. I never ever refused, and I am willing to blow to this day. It's just that he never gave me the order.
I mean, that is a solid claim.
And just say that I have a wife and kids. Going to jail for 3 years is not only going to cause me harm, it's going to cause my family harm. And I'm willing to compensate. I'm willing to compensate monetarily, but jail is not really an option.
Mm-hmm. Hello, I got a question from Mike, the host.
Yep.
Hey, Donaldson, would you mute out for a second? The audio in the background is rough. Please, thank you. Mike, when you don't record these calls, you don't have the ability. I was asking you if you can mute out for a minute because of the background noise. I got a question for Mike. Do you not wish to be on the chat, or do you actually need a laptop or computer? Because don't be afraid. If you need a computer to access the system, believe me, I will donate. There's probably 10 people on this call right now that will donate. You will have a computer by next week.
I don't actually have a computer, but I don't really need one. If somebody has an extra one to donate, that'd be great. But
no, I can get on commonlaw.com. I'll get on commonlaw.com and send donations. Other people will too, because we want you to have the ability to mute Donaldson, me, mute this fucker. I don't care, but we want you to have control of this thing.
Wait a minute. You don't want to be able to mute Donaldson.
So all you got to do, Mike, is say, "Hey, I'm Mike. I would like to do this call. I need the technology." You'll have it done, dude. Don't be prideful or whatever. Just say, "Hey, if you'll send a donation, we'll get this shit done." It will be done. I want you to mute me. God damn it. Ugh.
Well, that's part of the reason I don't record the calls is because when people start yelling and screaming or giving bad information or whatever or talking over each other, it destroys the recording anyways. So I don't record because I can't mute.
Exactly. Thank you. So, do y'all hear that, guys? Mike's site is commonlaw, as you see on the board, .com, and the only thing working is PayPal, by the way. I'll be your advocate. I've donated to you, actually. I want others to donate.
You said the only thing working is common law?
The PayPal on the common law part.
Okay.
I got somebody to help me start a website a long time ago, and then I kind of haven't really done anything, so it's just kind of the shell of a website with a donate button.
Well, I wish I would have went to that donate button instead of the donate button on Skype to whoever hacked your account.
There's a donate button on Skype?
Well,
iTunes card.
no, I donate button on Skype, but he was like, Mike Miller. I'm like, well, this is Mike Miller's account. I don't think you could. This doesn't really seem like Mike. Can you answer some of my questions? And like, it was so messed up. I need iTunes money, gift cards, and it was just, I don't know, man. I should have known.
Whoever did that's from Portugal.
Yeah, I was swindled.
But yeah, Mike, if you'll make like an oath or a pledge to say, yeah, I mean, I'll get the system set up so you can do this, control this thing, I'll gladly contribute. I want you, Mike. You're so needed. Muting out, guys. Love you.
You know what? I was looking, and I can't seem to find it, but I think it's in words and phrases, if I'm not mistaken. But just go and look up family purpose doctrine. It does have to do with the head of the household, just like Jeffrey confirmed. So it may be of interest to you. I mean, it's a common law remedy. It does exist today, and it's obvious that it's there. I mean, is there anything else that you can think of? And if not, I mean, this guy gave you some great advice, though, right now. I really love what I heard come out of your mouth, Mike, and your brain is, the way you're using your intellect, super sharp, bud. Really appreciate you.
No, yeah, it makes sense. You know, it's kind of the same thing like that, along the same lines that I was, you know, thinking of, and with the approach that I wanted to with all of this talk that we've been having about, you know, allocution and stuff, and how some people have had some success with even putting like poster boards up of how, you know, why they shouldn't go up the river and things like that. But you know, I'm trying to just get my life back, you know, order, and trying to show that I'm trying to change my beliefs. That
is it Ryan?
Caused me some trouble.
Your name's Ryan, right?
Me?
Yeah. What's your name?
Richard.
Richard. I called you Ryan. I'm sorry. Richard, basically, I think what Mike said basically about your indoctrination into the definition of the word order, that you should stick with that, because that's a claim that you can basically hold on to. It's solid, bud. Seriously.
You know what, let's back up on that one. How many times did he ask you to blow, and what did you argue during the trial?
I argued that I never refused. I never explicitly refused. I told him if it was his wish or if it was his order that I would gladly do it, whatever he wants me to do. He just wish it or order it, and I'll do it. And he said that he asked me 3 times, and I answered with the same thing. You know, I repeated if that was his wish and that was his order. And I asked him how he could give me these other orders, but he could only ask, or he couldn't say one or the other, wish or order. And it has to be on my own free will that I take the breathalyzer. And I asked him in court, open court, I said, well, how long did it take you to consider that it was a refusal? And he said, it took me about 1 minute in my head to deem or consider it as a refused test. After I've told you 3 times, and I gave you the option to call an attorney if you wished.
Did he tell you that you were required to take the test?
By Minnesota law, it says in the paperwork that I'm required, whenever asked from a peace officer who is in the line of doing their duty.
Another option is you could say very politely, what would happen if I were to refuse? And if he says, well, you're going to be arrested, then say, okay, this is obviously you only do this if you know you're not going to blow over. And then just say, I will blow only under threat of being placed under arrest.
That is one thing, but the other thing is you mentioned a peace officer, and if you make that whole like you'll only blow contract, and in addition to that, also get their peace officer registration certificate where they basically, sign as a peace officer on record as well. That will also verify that they were actually a peace officer. But I mean, I don't want to say anything else for now. Yeah.
Another thing about peace officers is they operate under the common law, and they're there strictly for a breach of the peace, which would be a harm, loss, or injury. They're not policy enforcers. They're peace officers.
Right.
That's what I was wondering. I'm like, why does it say it says he believes, like that's the first words in this law type of thing that they made, where it's called the implied consent refusal law, or implied consent law, where if an officer believes that you have been drinking, that he is he's given the authority by the state of Minnesota and then the laws of the traffic code, that he's able to perform these duties where he can make you, if you are a driver, because in that paperwork it says he believes that I was a driver at the time, or operating or transporting a vehicle, because I was in control of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it says peace officer in that wording, because I know they act as many different things, like as a peace officer, and I can't remember the other duties that they have. It's, I'll try not to read that code stuff, but you kind of have to see the way that they're seeing things, I guess.
But I don't know if you guys want to hear this again, but the fact that you were the head of your household, and you can prove that because that's your girlfriend's car, and you said her dad is deceased, and there is who's the head of the household? Is it her? Is there a claimed head of the household? Then if you live with her, you can make that claim, I suppose, And so if you can do that, then you have something working for you, because there is no liability. And the statements of counsel in brief or argument are not sufficient for summary judgment, and definitely on the common law side, there's no real valuable claimant.
But what relevance does him being the head of the household have to do with any of this?
Well, the thing is that he can back it up with insurance. That's what it has to do with.
What if he was like a 20-year-old son in the household? How would that make a difference? Where's that? What I'm saying is, what does his position in the family have to do with blowing into a machine?
I know exactly, right? But that's just the way the system is. I don't know how to explain it.
No, but you're coming up with this law that he can use because it applies.
Just Google it.
Okay, Google it. Fine. You came up with this remedy in the code that says something about a head of a household. How does that law apply to his case at all? I don't understand what head of a household has to do with blowing in a machine.
Well, okay. In law,
how in your head did you link this doctrine to this case?
I figured because he is the head of the household, he's the one that's liable for the members of the family when they're driving. Right?
It wasn't a member. It wasn't a member of his family. It was him.
No, it was him. So therefore, he's the only one liable. Right.
Okay, so he's liable. That was easy.
And he had insurance, right? So he's covered. He's good to go. He doesn't have to be punished by the state. That's right.
Yeah.
He can
I
challenge
don't
their
know.
subject matter jurisdiction. No, under common law. No.
The way I see it is, I'm guilty according to their rules. I played their game. I took it to trial, and so what? There's still not a man harmed. There's not, no man has came forward, saying that I caused any harm, loss, or injury.
Oh God. What state are you in, man? What state are you in?
Minnesota.
Minnesota. All right. And what county court? Because I want to try and find the form for challenging jurisdiction or subject matter
Bureau
jurisdiction.
County.
Let me write this down real quick. So, Deer County.
Well, I haven't entered any motions into the case file. It's only been notices.
What kind of notices?
What's the name of the city? County? Sorry.
They should be in the case file.
I don't have your case file, bud. But
Somebody was looking at
I know.
the case here, I believe.
All right, let me find the rules of court for Minnesota.
Yeah, can you explain what kind of notices you filed?
That I really wish I had my paperwork. I'm at my girlfriend's house right now. I don't have any of the paperwork on me, but the basic motions notices that I was a man. I'm a man. I don't understand legalese. I don't speak legalese. I mean, I'm an idiot in regards to the legal society. I appear solely as a man. I do not appear as any other legal person. And the main one that I was using as my defense was I wasn't operating under any license at the time of the traffic stop.
And why did you think that would help?
Because I believe it's a matter of controversy that this officer believes that I was breaking the law, and I believe that I was just moving property from point A to point B. That's why I'm being brought to court, because they're saying that I'm violating one of their traffic codes. So, when they bring you to court, you have to answer to what, if you understand what the paperwork says. I mean, I didn't have to play their game. But I'm not as learned as somebody to be able to think off, the top of my head.
Here's one thing that you might want to remember, Richard. Verified claim. I'm sure that if they have it in California, then they have to have it in Minnesota as well. Like some sort of piece of paper where their signatures are on there attesting to the validity of their, of their claim of your crime or whatever. I mean, it's just good to know that they have that. What if they don't have it? That could be reason to get the thing thrown out. Just check to see if they do have it, to be on the safe side. Verification of the claim,
Well, it's not a claim, is it? It's a complaint.
Well, even you want to get a verification of that complaint then. And you want to get it motions trial before you get your sentencing, so you can get these pivotal motions heard. You know what I mean? I mean, there's some things you have to have heard.
Well, I had a verified copy of the criminal complaint, both of them, both the case files, but it was just I didn't really look too much into it to prepare my defense against it. It was just, did I or did I not refuse is what I was brought to court to answer.
So did the guy that signed the complaint testify in court?
Yes, he was put on the witness stand, and
You probably never met the guy before.
no, he said he's pulled me over before, and he said I did not act drunk at all, and he said I was a completely different man that day. Like, I've had a lot of run-ins with people pulling me over for not having a license in my hometown.
I just found this cool document. It's called Instructions, Answer and Counterclaim. It's for Minnesota rules. And I'm going to put it into the chat room right now so everyone can, can check this out. Maybe it'd be relevant, Get something out of it. But let me mute myself out.
So out in this county that I'm at, the guy that gives you the ticket or summons or whatever it is ends up being a witness, and another third party signs the complaint.
No, it wasn't him who signed the complaint. It was obviously his supervisor signed the complaint, but he signed the refusal that he was the one that was considering me to be breaking the law of not signing a piece of paper or not doing.
But you also said that you have not put anything in yet, right? No paperwork, right?
I have entered a few notices.
So you have answered, or what do you mean notices?
Just letting everybody know that a man taking my property from point A to point B, and I wasn't operating under any license. I'm not a part of a legal society. I'm just a man. And
so you made a general appearance in writing. I got you.
Yeah,
that's
just putting the notices out there.
You shouldn't have done that. Yeah. I don't think you should have done that.
What did you suggest I would have done on the first appearance?
I was him saying that he's a man in general appearance.
I'm not going to get into it right now.
Well, what better time than now?
Well, you're in handcuffs. So you get brought before court. They say you need $75,000 to bail out, or $50,000, whichever, or you can pay it, and they don't want to hear anything about being a man.
Hold on. I got to answer this guy's question. Here's how. Because you're not specifically challenging jurisdiction. So there. Okay? If you're not specifically challenging the jurisdiction and saying they don't have personal jurisdiction or subject matter jurisdiction for one particular reason, then just saying that you're a man is making statements, and it's not a sufficient challenge to the jurisdiction.
Well, considering that they had the power to put my hands behind my back and throw me on the ground, throw me in handcuffs, throw me in a cage, I believe that they do have some sort of control over it.
That's what I mean. You didn't sufficiently beat the jurisdictional claim that they're making. Well, first of all, I don't believe they have subject matter jurisdiction over you. And because you neither challenge that or personal, then they're going to have their way with you, in my opinion. That's what they're doing. Does Mike want to come in and maybe give another view of another possible perspective?
I think you kind of got a point. I don't know if you're suggesting that he file a motion. I don't know if that's a good idea to completely change his tactic. But in personam jurisdiction, subject matter jurisdiction, it's all legalese. So he would be deviating from his stance. But I don't know if he has to specifically say this is a jurisdictional challenge. If I don't have jurisdiction over unicorns and a unicorn shows up to my court,
it kind of looks bad if I say, oh, that unicorn's a person. It's a motor vehicle operator.
I think that's why they had to get the policeman to go on the stand and say that he believed that I was a driver.
Well, the reason for putting somebody on the stand is to verify something. So when the prosecutor puts the cop on the stand, he's getting the cop to verify, because the lawyer can't verify any of his documents, and he's never going to swear in, so he can never get any evidence on the record. So he puts the man who acts as police officer on the stand and gets the police officer to read the documents onto the record. That's how the prosecutor's getting their shit on the record.
Makes sense.
Same thing when you take the stand, you hope you don't put your stuff on the record, but the problem is now you've opened yourself up to cross-examination, and they get to verify their stuff through you.
So it's good that I didn't take the witness stand, testify?
I think so.
But it on the case. Sometimes it's good to take the stand, sometimes it's bad. OJ would have been retarded if he took the stand. If it was to his benefit, Johnny Cochran would have put him on the stand.
Well, that's why I wanted the state to prove their case against me.
Well, see, you would have to do this. They don't have to do that because they first have to prove jurisdiction. Then they can prove all that's crap. You know what I mean? That they want to do all the facts and run, try you by jury and all that crap. First jurisdiction, then all the rest. You see what I'm saying? So one thing you could do is write to them and say this. Well, that court lacks subject matter jurisdiction because of, and then you put the fact that, first of all, it's a family car, all right, and that you have insurance, and you put that into the record and make that one of your exhibits. That the insurance actually is going to be one of the things that secures the liability. So that's definitely important to have in the record to support your sovereignty.
Forget about sovereignty. Just ask for them to verify his or her claim before the court. Or ask that you require that they prove that they have jurisdiction.
Okay, he has to provide a preponderance of evidence to the contrary in this instance. It's a nice thought, and you have a great intent by making those kind words. And obviously it's a challenge to the jurisdiction of another sort. But what they are expecting is something colorable.
It's their game. Prove it. Prove that it applies to me.
Well, like I mentioned before, he filed a bunch of IMAN paperwork, but he went into their court and took part in their little game. So he participated, and he was, not only did he participate, he was acting double-minded. And there's an old maxim of law, double-minded man is unstable in all his ways.
Right, exactly.
He can notice a mistake.
Well, he was pro se the whole time?
Well, he was saying he was a man, they were saying he was a defendant.
Did they already get him a public defender, though?
Yeah, but I fired them.
Oh, but see, okay,
they were
so you have a right to counsel
on my behalf.
That's just cool. You have the right to counsel, and he already had the counsel. That's awesome. It actually could work in your favor. Because, first of all, if they gave you counsel, then they will agree that you didn't have the capacity to represent yourself as in their society. That's a good thing. you don't want to be in their society, right? And you're not. And they were treating you as if you were, but at the same time treating you as if you're not. Keeping you in that capacity.
I fired the attorney right before we went to trial.
Interesting. So you could make a claim of neglect by the public defender to actually do appropriate legal research. That's one thing you could do. Instead of asking for forgiveness, you just say, "Look, my public defender didn't do the correct legal research." That's definitely something reasonable. And if you come in with something that's a better show than what he was able to do, you may get somewhere.
You want to avoid making any statements whatsoever.
Not in every case. Remember, he's partaken in their system. He's played their game. He was on the stand. He was cross-examining whatever he was doing, answering back, talking to people. He was taking part in their play. Another thought might be to bring this stuff up to the jury, as in, I fired my attorney because he was clearly not competent. I'm an idiot in regard to legalese. Apparently my lawyer was too, because I had to find this stuff in the code. I don't know what it means, but it looks like to me the state has to prove this, and this, and I don't believe the court even has jurisdiction in the first place. It was all just a mistake. I think this is unfair how I'm being treated. I only want to settle and make this matter go away and get on with my life. I didn't hurt anybody. I just want out of this. I want to pay and go away.
That's a good way of doing it.
And the jury could say, "Holy crap, it is in the codes. Why didn't his lawyer find this?" Now the court will have a problem because they got an idiot standing in their courtroom and his lawyer done him wrong.
But see, if you says he's an idiot, then guess what? He presumes a filial relationship with the state.
No.
Or some governorship or conservatorship with somebody.
You're using these affiliate, I don't know what that word was. I don't know why you use these retarded words. But
filial?
Yeah, talk normal so we understand you. Nobody uses those crazy words.
Well, that's an actual word that those people understand.
Okay, but we don't.
It just means a family relationship, you guys. There's no family relationship, okay?
Big words, that's fine. Okay, I got it. You're smart. The point is...
You're smart, too.
The point is the court does not have jurisdiction over an idiot. Look up the word idiot.
All right. But they don't have jurisdiction over him either, because it's not family.
What are you talking about?
Well, I'm just saying.
Is this where you're going to make the call go downhill? You're just talking gibberish now.
Okay. All right. I haven't yet pointed the finger at you to say I've given you nothing but support.
Yeah, but this is distraction. You're not making sense.
No, I'm saying there's no filial relationship. If there is none, they need to prove that they can punish him. That's the point of DUI.
Okay, but you're saying they have jurisdiction over him if he's an idiot in the court. That's not true. That's the truth.
Okay, well, listen, that's up for some. We should give it some thought. I'm not saying you want to debate about it. I don't want to do that on this call. I respect